Clint Barton is getting back in action, and he's bringing along some old friends for the ride. All this and more in the pages of Hawkeye Freefall issue number 1. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? Alrighty then, so as the comic opens up, we're reintroduced to Parker Robbins, aka the long-suffering magical gang boss known as the Hood. The Hood is rounding up as much underground muscle as he possibly can for a big weapons deal that's going down. What he couldn't possibly have foreseen, though, was the coming of Clint Barton, who respects the Hood so little that he didn't even bother covering up his face when he infiltrated the meeting, because again, Hawkeye is one of those few heroes that doesn't wear a mask, so you pretty much know exactly who he is no matter what he's wearing. Hawkeye basically does a little Jack Sparrow-esque action scene wherein he throws coffees in guys' faces, trips them up, and you have to wonder, did he plan all of this, or is he just making it up as he goes along? In the end, this ends up becoming a nice little bust for Hawkeye. He took down a major crime boss, and he's totally stoked to see the Hood get thrown in jail, only that doesn't happen. The Hood has a friend in the governor's office that cuts him loose, while the rest of his crew ends up going to jail. This turn of events actually upsets Hawkeye too. He wonders to himself why all these penny ante crooks who were just stealing to support their families have to get punished while the Hood gets to walk free to commit more crimes. Why the Hood is so gung-ho about gloating he even invites Clint into his limo so he can talk about just how great he is. Hell, the Hood is independently rich enough on his own he didn't have to be out committing major crimes, but he did it anyway because he wanted to. Heck, Parker even tries to turn it around on Clint, saying, "We're not so different, you and I. We're both on the ass ends of the supervillain superhero pyramids. I commit crimes because I want to, not because I'm expecting to get paid, just like you go out and stop crime, not because you're expecting to get paid, because, well, it's just sort of what you do. Hell, you're a vigilante. From a certain point of view, you're the lawbreaker, not me." Naturally, Clint isn't much for arguing, but this guy sure does manage to get under his skin. The Hood just made this very, very personal for Hawkeye. So personal, in fact, that when Hawkeye goes back to visit his girlfriend, the night nurse, Linda Carter, he can't stop thinking about the Hood. Which, obviously, Linda is not a fan of. Personally, I'm a fan of her choice in t-shirt. It's the Hulk was right, a nice little reference to what's going on in Immortal Hulk right now. From there, we transition on over to a pair of federal agents. They're on a mysterious job when they come under attack by Ronin. Or should I say someone dressed as Ronin, complete with a new, more sinister-looking Oni mask, because let's face it, there has been more than one Ronin, and the original Ronin was Clint himself. Naturally, when these agents show up dead and whatever they were carrying shows up missing, it's up to Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, and Sam Wilson the Falcon to go have a little talk with Hawkeye, who, all things considered, is actually doing pretty well right now. He can afford $20 omelet breakfasts at 2 in the afternoon, because I guess that building he owns is in an area that got gentrified. It can't be too rough on Hawkeye. He's a superhero after all. If my water stops working, I feel like he actually will show up as my landlord to deal with it. Naturally, due to his connection to the Ronin identity, Clint is the #1 suspect because, well, he's certainly not Echo. The guys killed weren't vampires and the other one's out of the country. To prove his innocence, Hawkeye agrees to help Falcon and Winter Soldier set a trap for this new Ronin. It's also here we find out that Hawkeye was able to figure out about the Hood's big weapons deal because he pays Turk hundreds of dollars to keep him up to speed on everything that's happening on the streets. Usually that's money not well spent, but this time though they do actually manage to catch their man in the act. Well, again, I assume man, Ronin could very well be anybody. Whoever the person in the Ronin costume is, they are highly trained, able to fight 3 Avengers-level combatants trained under Captain America to a complete standstill. If nothing else, though, getting his bell utterly rung in front of Winter Soldier and Falcon proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Clint is most certainly not behind this as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Hawkeye Freefall #1, everybody, and I gotta say, I dug this one. I've been a Matthew Rosenberg fan for a long time right now, and it's clear that the guy has a lot of love and admiration for Hawkeye as a character. Clint is, after all, a lovable doofus who can sometimes surprise you with the actual amount of depth that he has going on under the surface. Setting him up against the Hood is also pretty brilliant too when we stop and consider there's a lot of parallels you could draw between the two characters, and the fact that they've never really fought one-on-one before is going to make for an interesting matchup. Then you throw in a good Who's Under the Mask mystery with Ronin, and I think you got the makings for a pretty solid miniseries. Overall, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. I really dug it. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.